Hello students, welcome to our channel Simplified Computer Science Concepts by Professor Rutuja. Today we are starting with a new series of database management systems and we will cover Introduction to Database Management System in today's lecture. So, what are the popular DBMS softwares? Or you might have heard about the softwares that are presented over here, that is such as Microsoft Access, Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, Cassandra, OrientDB, MariaDB, SQLite. All these are the various flavors or the variants of database that are available in today's world. Now, any one of you can, any flavor you can use and perform the database operations, but then yes, keep in mind these are certain various DBMS softwares that are popular and are available. At least if you have not used, you might have heard about these softwares. So let us look at the day-to-day life of what Mrs. Iyer is doing. So this is one of the day where Mrs. Iyer is doing her daily chores. So before going to office, she's checking her Instagram, FB and Twitter account, and she's thinking about what is where are the data about her friends, groups and likes are stored. So they are stored basically into some database about the friends, users and likes. Then in the lunch time, she wants to opt or she wants to take some medicines. So she go to the medical, and again when she buys it, she again thinks of what exactly the data the pharmacist wants, how it is stored, the customers, data about the customers, inventory, the product information. Again, that is also stored in the database. Then in the evening she goes to the grocery shop. She thinks about again when this where is this data about the groceries maintained, how the product information is managed, how the billing information is managed. So again the answer to his query is storing the data into the database. And finally she wants to go into the vacation. So again she wants to book flights, she wants to book hotels, and that again data is stored into the database. So this is the pervasive nature of the database. Pervasive means it is an integral part of a daily chores of a particular woman. So here we have taken it as, or we have considered it as Mrs. Iyer. So consider our lives also. In our day-to-day life, we are going through so much of things and we are using this or the the data of ours is stored into various databases like that are shown on the screen. So what is this data? So data is a raw information. It can be processed with the help of a computer system and DBMS software. So DBMS software, I'll just elaborate it later. Right now, I'll focus on the data. So what is the data? Any raw data that is coming is nothing but a data. That is some recordable facts, some observations, factual information, values and figures. What are recordable facts and observations? We can say recordable facts. It can be your name, age, your PRN number. All these are the recordable facts. Factual information is that in 1960 some event occurred. So that is fact that actually happened. Values and figures. So you're performing some experiments and you're getting some values out of it. So all this becomes the data. And this data is stored into the database and it is processed by the computer system, right? So example over here for the data is that, so these are the students. It is a group of students. Each student will have its own data, that is it's their name, their PRN number, their class, their zip code, etc. And all that data is stored into a database that is called as a student database. So how to transform this raw data to information? It is necessary to transform the raw data to information because unless and until the data is processed, we will not be able to use that information further. So the raw data, when it is processed, then it is converted to information. So just an example of this, that this is the data entry form wherein you might have seen your day-to-day life. Many of the times you might have filled such type of forms. Now when you fill these forms, some raw data is like At the back end, it is connected to some data collecting place where the data is collected. Once the data is collected, we are summarizing that information. That means, let's say you have electives. Okay, so when you're opting for the elective, there are 2-3 options that are available. Some people may go to first elective, some people may go to another elective, and nobody goes to the third elective. So we are summarizing the data, or we are generating some reports. Based on that, we will decide which of the 2 options that we have to give as option or give as a choice to the students as an elective. If the third choice is not opted by any of the student, and we are able to summarize that from the information that is provided, then obviously we will not go for the third elective. So this is how the summarized information from the raw data that we have converted will help us to take some decisions. And finally, this summarized information is represented into the graphical representation. So instead of actually going to these rows that are there present on the screen, we are just representing these rows into the graphical format, and obviously diagrammatical form is easy to read. So this graphical representation helps us to represent the data, thousands and hundreds, millions lines of data into a very easier manner. So this graphical representation is also a very important part. Now, what is information? So this information needs to be is nothing but, as I have told you, data. When it is processed, it converts into the information. So data that is collected, it should be processed, and it cannot be used directly for some meaningful work such as decision making. So as I have told you earlier, unless and until the data is processed, we cannot take the decision that yes, whether that elective is to be given or given as a choice or not. So on that we had some processing done, then only we can reach to that certain decision. Unless and until using that raw data, we are not able to make some decision. Okay, so once the data is processed into the information, then it is useful for various purposes. So therefore, information is processed data. So this is the data that is stored into the database. It is processed and then it is turned into the information. So we can say information is nothing but the processed data. Now what is data processing? So see, this is the raw data which goes into the database. Then it is processed. The data is processed, and obviously the data is processed with the help of the software program, and then it is stored into the computer system for data processing, for example, and then finally it is turned into the information where after processing. For example, see, there is a employee attendance data which is recorded, and then it is processed with the help of a software program which is called as a payroll processing system to calculate the salary, right? So based on that, so here the payroll processing is the software program, and the raw data is the in time, out time of that employee, and based on which is stored in the database. Based on that, that payroll operating system will process that data in the computer system and generate some reports, and based on that the salary will be calculated. Now what is this database? So this database is nothing but it is a collection, it is a computer based record keeping system that is used to record, maintain and retrieve the data. So basically it is used to store, retrieve and maintain the data about the particular entity. It can be student, it can be employee, anything, customers. So just look over here. So what is database? Database is an organized collection of interrelated records such as employee database, customer database, student database. These are the examples. So see, if I consider this customer database, the data related to the customer is customer ID, first name, last name, contact number, city, all this is stored into this database. When we consider this employee database, the details about the employees will be stored into this database. So the main purpose of the database is to operate and handle the large amount of data by efficiently storing, retrieving and managing the data in the database. Now let us go to the database management system. Now this database management system is nothing but it is an interface between the end users and the database. So DBMS is the short form of database management system. Now here, whatever you are seeing on the screen, these are the end users. This is your end user. These are the database administrator who accesses the database. Then this is the database designer, or we can say the database programmer who designs the database. And this is the system analyst who is accessing this database. Now, it cannot access the database raw data as it is directly. So there is a need of some software, as I had told you. So what is that software? That software is nothing but DBMS, that is database management system. Now, these end users will contact DBMS with the help of APIs, that is application interface. With some interface, it will contact the DBMS, wherein the DBMS will ultimately contact the database with the help of SQL commands. It cannot directly contact it cannot directly use the raw data. It has to use this SQL commands. Now this DBMS will perform the storage operation, retrieval operation, report generation. It will also give the security. Now DBMS provides the centralized view. What do you mean by centralized view? That all these users can simultaneously access a particular database. So that is the centralized view. That means all the data will be same to all the users. That means value of A will not be different to all the users. It will be consistent to all the users. And DBMS provides abstracted view of the database. So what do you mean by abstraction? Abstraction is nothing but hiding the complexity from the users. So DBMS is providing the abstracted view by hiding the complexity from the users. Finally, let us see the applications of the database systems: banking system, telecom, airlines, online shopping, education, and manufacturing. All these are the various areas where database systems are used. In telecom, the incoming, outgoing, and all the details of the call records are stored. Banking system related to accounts, that is withdrawal, credit, debit. In airlines, all the bookings and availability is checked over here. Same in the online shopping. Same in the education. The students' data is stored. The CGPAs, the fee structures, all is maintained in the education system via database systems. And in manufacturing, the inventory, the warehouse, all the information related to a product is stored in the manufacturing databases. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubts, please do comment in the comment box. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you everyone.